Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Hi, welcome to Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability. Today I'll be talking to two leaders in the area who work with some great companies. Debbie Mytels with Acterra, and I think I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, and Jim Smith with the Bay Area Air Quality Management District. And did I get that right?
A much easier name.
And Debbie, please self-introduce yourself and let the audience know what it is you do, maybe a little about your background.
Okay, thanks, Heather. It's really a pleasure to be here. It's Debbie Mytels, and I'm with Acterra. We're a nonprofit group in Palo Alto, and we do environmental education for adults and the community as a whole. And I've worked with the organization for over 20 years off and on, and really enjoy working with people in the community and educating them and giving them opportunities to become engaged in creating solutions to environmental challenges.
And Jim?
I'm a public information officer with the Bay Area Air District, and I work with communities. That's the core of my job. And prior to working at the Air District, I worked as a community organizer, so all of my professional career has been about communities and environmental issues.
And you've worked for them for how long?
I've worked for the Air District for the past 3 years.
3 years, okay. And so tell us a little bit more about the organization. So 20 years, I didn't realize they'd been around that long.
Oh, well, Acterra actually got started, it was called Peninsula Conservation Center back in 1970, around the time of the first Earth Day. So we have a 40-year history now, just celebrated our 40th anniversary. And merged 10 years ago with another group called Bay Area Action and took the name Acterra, which means act for the earth, of course. So we've been doing good stuff, I think, for 40 years, yeah.
And so before you were with the Air District, where were you before that?
I worked for a nonprofit called Community Focus, and the goal of that organization is to involve people more actively in government and to make government environmental issues, that sort of thing, much more accessible to the public so that they can be involved and not just sort of passive participants.
So can you both tell me a little bit about the Green Resource Team, or the Green Vision Resource Team? I'm getting the name wrong, and your involvement with it, and what it is basically. Would you like
the Green Vision Resource Team is a collaboration between the Air District and the City of San Jose, and the idea is you bring people together from different backgrounds, whether from organizations or businesses, school groups or other kinds of organizations, and then we pick projects and we implement those projects. And the requirement for the team here in San Jose is simply that it helps implement the city's green vision.
Okay.
So one of the things we decided to do was to do a series of do-it-yourself workshops to help people do home energy efficiency. And I guess you've got a clip about that.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and run the clip from one of the workshops that was this last week, and there's another one coming up, and there'll be many more. So let's go ahead and run that first clip.
So you want to look at where any of your appliances are drawing electricity when you're not actually using the appliance. So I had a coffee maker, for example, that had a timer on it. It had a little clock so that you could set your coffee to start in the morning. Well, that was a wonderful convenience, but all night long, all the time where I wasn't using it for that 5 minutes to brew the coffee, I was pulling electricity just to keep that little dial on the clock running. And so that was really an unnecessary draw. But you do want to look at things where you really do have a plug that sets there where you take a device off, like a cell phone, and be aware that there may be electrical draws there.
So the Green Vision San Jose, you're working with them, and they have a 2020 vision that I guess was done several years ago, and they're currently working on the 2040 plan. I've gone to one of their meetings. And the 2040 plan, I guess, is supposed to be much more ambitious than the 2020 plan for year 2020. And they've got 39 people on that right now. 3 are council people, I think 1 is Sam Lacarta, and the rest are all business people. Went to one of those meetings, which is I think it's the first Monday of every month at City Hall, and it's open to the public. So now you had told me something interesting a few minutes ago about that. What was that about the green vision?
Well, I was just saying that the 2020 green vision is already really ambitious, and although what I would add, and I think Debbie would agree, is that ambition is what we need right now in terms of looking at climate change and other issues. So it's great that the city's decided to be even more ambitious than it's already been.
Well, see, and I've heard from some people, maybe it's just because of some of the green community people, that it's not ambitious enough, the 2020. So I think it's going to be a little while till the 2040 plan is done, and maybe we can have some of those folks back on with the City of San Jose at another time and invite you guys back then as well. So the Bay Area Quality Management District, tell us a little bit more about that and what your organization does and the different breakdowns of what they do.
Okay, we're the regional agency that's charged with protecting the public's health by enforcing federal standards for health related to air quality. So we regulate stationary sources of pollution, whether that's dry cleaners or paint and body shops or refineries or whatever it might be. And then in addition to that, we have grants to help retrofit trucks that may pollute. We do a program called the CARE program, a community air risk evaluation program, where we, as scientists in our agency, look at pollution on a very localized kind of level, even down to the block level. And our ambition eventually is that we can identify pollution locally and then identify solutions to get rid of that pollution locally.
So you're working in a lot of different areas then.
We are.
And that's a big job.
It is.
You must work 12 hours a day.
I work quite a bit, yes.
Let's see. So let's go back to Acterra and look a little deeper into that and what you guys are doing right now.
Oh, sure. Well, thanks a lot. The do-it-yourself workshop that we just are completing in San Jose actually grew out of our Green at Home program, which is a program where we've been training volunteers to visit people in their homes.
How many volunteers have you trained?
We've actually trained 275 people in the past 2 years, and it's really been exciting.
Wow.
We're working in 5 cities where we have a contract. Unfortunately, San Jose is not one of them, but it's Redwood City, Menlo Park, Palo Alto, Cupertino, and Sunnyvale. And if people live in those communities, they can call us and ask for a house call. So our volunteers will come into the house and they'll work with people, and we have some products here that
we got some things that we're going to take a look at here.
We train volunteers to talk with people about using and installing things like compact fluorescent light bulbs, which are really energy saving. They use about a quarter of the energy of a regular bulb. People do need to remember to recycle them, though, however, because they do contain a very small amount of hazardous mercury. But we give people the compact fluorescent light bulbs.
Well, and on that note, at the class this weekend, and I didn't show that on the clips we're going to be showing, you showed the different lights
Yes,
compared, and
yes.
then they also mentioned that any of the hardware stores that you buy the lights at will actually recycle them
Yes.
for you. So you can take I didn't know that. I thought you had to take them down to the hazardous waste yourself or what have you, but they'll take them back where you bought them.
Yeah, the hardware stores will take them back. They're supposed to do that. Another product which we'll give people is a power strip, which is a way that you can plug in all the parts of your electronic system into all this and turn it off every night for either a computer system or an entertainment system, and that way you can save a lot of power and not have that vampire load that she was talking about in the clip about the coffee pot.
So again, this free class, once they complete, they get the lights, they get the power strip, and this little goodie bag.
Yeah, that's the do-it-yourself workshop, and then we do install these products for people in the Green at Home program. This is a retractable clothesline. I think we have a clip about that to show people too. It basically pulls out the clothesline. It's a way to save energy. On a nice day, you can hang your clothes out.
Well, I love my clothesline at home. You put something out on a hot day, and it's done like in an hour.
Yeah, that's great. Do we have that clip?
We're going to show that towards the end. Let's see. Again, recently, I went to the Be the Change program, which was really an interesting program, and it was a free orientation. There's another one coming up, and I imagine they have another one. It's an annual. Tell us a little bit about that. Be the Change.
Yeah, Be the Change is Acterra's leadership training program, and we have a class of 30 people every year who want to spend time from September through June learning how to become more community involved in the environment. And the curriculum talks about environmental issues, social change practice, processes, and personal skill development. And everyone does a project. So people do projects like set up a native plant garden in their condo complex. They might set up a recycling program where they work, get their yoga studio to sell organic cotton. They do all kinds of things. And Be the Change is our leadership training program that engages people in that.
There are scholarships available for that as
Yes,
well, for the
yes.
program. And you only take 30 students then.
Yeah,
Will you ever expand that number of students that you guys will take on that program?
At this point,